Hello, this is lesson 4.1 Inequalities, and you're going to need this handout before we begin. So if you didn't get a handout in class, you can print this out from my classroom website where you found this video, or you can also print it out on the Aries grading system. It should have a PDF, but you need to have this printed out before we begin. So let's go ahead and get started. And as I'm zooming in, I should also give you a tip here. Make sure you're listening to this presentation with earbuds, because at some point during this video I'm going to ask you to draw or write something to show me that you've been listening, that I'm not going to draw or write on this screen. You just have to actually be listening to the video, so listen carefully. And when I get to that part, I'm going to have you draw it, and then the next day, or write it, whatever case it is, and the next day when I check it, I'll know whether or not you watched the video because I'll see the drawing or the word on your paper. Okay, so let's begin. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about the 4 inequality symbols, and we're going to write them in these 4 columns. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll have you pause and copy it down. So there's a lot to copy, I know, so I want you to pause your video and copy this down, and then when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. Okay, so for the first inequality, this is the is less than symbol. Okay, it looks like an L. It's just a little bit squished, a squished L. And we can also use the word is fewer than. And notice that for all of these columns, I've underlined the verb is. It is really important that you do that as well, like with a red pen or a highlighter, because the verb is changes the words less than into an inequality. Less than by itself is a minus, but is less than means we're comparing, okay, or is fewer than. All right, and then this one here, this is the is greater than symbol, or we could say is the is more than. And then with the bars, that means or equal to. So here, this is the is than or equal to. We could also say is at most, or is no more than. And then this is the greater than symbol. So then with this bar, we say that this is called the is greater than or equal to, is at least, or is no less than. So that verb is really needs to be in all of these boxes and all the phrases. And then down here, this is for graphing purposes, and it'll make more sense when we graph or when we look at graphs. We have an open circle when we don't have the bar underneath, so it's just the plain is less than or is greater than inequality. And then we use the closed circle when we do have a bar underneath, the is less than or equal to, or the is greater than or equal to. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at problem number 1. So let's go ahead and zoom in right here. Okay, and then for this problem here, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this number line, and you're going to write an inequality for all the numbers here that are being shaded, okay? So here, instead of writing, all the numbers out that are being shaded, like -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc., that would take us a long time. We can use an inequality with a variable to represent this number line, to represent the numbers that are shaded. So what you do is you start with x. Okay, so let's start with x. Okay, and that's going to represent, x is representing all the numbers that are shaded, and then you look at where the circle is. And so here the circle's at -1. So in between x and -1, you're going to leave a little space for now. So we're going to write -1 on this side. Okay, and then because it's a closed circle means that it is that -1 is part of, could be a possible answer. So it's -1, 0, 1, 2. It's even all the fractions and decimals in between the integers. Okay, so it could be like -half, -3/4, -0.9999. So -1 is included, so that means we're going to write, oh, and it's all the numbers greater than, so you're going to write it's greater than or equal to. Okay, because closed circles have that bar underneath. Okay, so it's greater than, x is greater than or equal to -1. Okay, and then I want you to write this sentence, all numbers are greater than or equal to -1. And pause the video so you can copy it down, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. So now let's write an inequality for problem number 2. On problem number 2, it's all the numbers to the left of positive 2 are shaded, and then 2 has an open circle, so 2 cannot be a possible solution, but all the numbers less than that, including all the numbers in between 1 and 2, like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, etc., all of those are shaded. So what we do is we have x on this left, we can start with x, and then you have 2 on the other side, and you put the less than symbol in between. And you don't put the bar underneath because 2 is not included. So we just say x is less than 2. And then I want you to write the sentence, all numbers are less than 2. Pause the video if you need to before we continue to the next set of problems. So for problems 3, 4, and 5, we're going to talk about translating these sentences into inequalities. And I want you to use different colors to circle and underline the different parts of the sentence. So let's look at number 3. On number 3, the phrase or the sentence, says a number x is no less than 18. So here I'm going to circle the is no less than because that's our inequality. All right, and then in blue, I'm just going to have a number x and then 18. I'm going to underline those, okay? This is kind of like a bracket. Oops, didn't do a good job. Oh, well. All right, now, so to translate this, a number x, we just write x. Is no less than, we can look at that chart, is no less than, is right here. You should have written it down right there, is no less than. So that's the greater than or equal to sign. And then 18 is on the other side. So we write x is greater than or equal to 18. And that's our inequality. Okay, and then in number 4, for number 4, we have a number k multiplied by negative 8 is less than negative 4. So we're going to go ahead and underline, or circle, the is less than. I'm also going to circle this operation, multiplied by. This multiplied by words indicates we're going to be drawing a symbol. So now we can underline a number, k, negative 8, and negative 4. Okay, so a number k, we'll just put k multiplied by negative 8, so we put the dot with a negative 8, is less than negative 4. Now, usually when we're multiplying a number and a variable, we put that number in front of the variable. So it's negative 8k is less than negative 4. And for number 3, we're just going to leave it blank for now, and we'll do that in class. Okay, you must be at least 18 years old. We'll just leave it blank. Okay, so for problem 6 and 7, we're just going to do problem 6 together. We're going to leave 7 for class time. So in problem 6, the question is the given value a solution? So we have the inequality n minus 6 is less than negative 1. And then it's saying n equals 4. So we're saying, is n equal 4 a possible solution to this inequality? So what you do is you're going to take that 4 and you're going to plug it in for n. Okay, so I'm just drawing an arrow from 4 to n. And we're going to write it like this. We're going to rewrite it 4 minus 6. Now instead of writing the less thing, I'm going to draw a wall and then put negative 1. And then I'm going to simplify this side, 4 minus 6. So I'm going to evaluate it. Okay, so I can do keep, change. All right, 4 plus negative 6, well, that equals negative 2. And then all you do is you bring down this inequality symbol straight down this wall. Okay? And then negative 1 on this side. So now you look at this statement. Negative 2 is less than negative 1. And that is a true statement. Negative 2 is less than negative 1, so we're going to write true. Okay? And because it's a true statement, that means that n equals 4 is a possible solution for n. Okay? And we write solution. Now, I am recording this video during Thanksgiving week, so for your magic or secret word, not magic word, secret word, to make sure you're listening to this video, I want you to write at the top of your paper, next to the title of this paper, I want you to write one thing you are thankful for this year. Just one thing, okay? And then we'll continue. Okay, so here we're going to be graphing this inequality on a number line. So let's look at number 8. Number 8, we're going to graph f is less than or equal to negative 1.5. All right, and here we have a blank number line. So I want you to just, what I have kids do is label where negative 1.5 would be. So we're going to just guess it's about here. Negative, and label the tick mark, negative 1.5. And then label where 0 would be. 0 would be to the right of negative 1.5. So we'll just put 0 there. And that's pretty much all you have to label. I'm not going to make you label the entire number line. Now, when f is less than or equal to negative 1.5, remember that when it has that bar underneath, it's going to have a closed circle. So if you look back at your chart, less than or equal to up here, okay, this one, it has a closed circle. Okay, that bar here, again, has a closed circle for both less than and greater than or equal to. So here we're going to have a closed circle on negative 1.5. All right, so I'm going to just use my red pen. Negative 1.5, closed circle. And I want you to draw it right on the number line. Do not draw it above. Don't do one of these. It's not up in the air. I don't want to see that one right on that number line. And then f is less than negative 1.5, so we're going to shade to the left. Okay, it's all the numbers less than. So I just make the line thicker, and then I fill in the arrow, make it thicker too. So that's the graph for that one. Let's look at number 9. On number 9, it says h is greater than 3. So we're going to just kind of estimate where h would be. Well, 3 is. 3 we'll say is over here. Okay. And then 0 would be to the left of 3. We'll say 0 here. Okay. You could put tick marks for 1 and 2, but you don't have to label them. All right, now h is greater than 3. We're going to have, since it doesn't have that bar on it, underneath the greater than symbol, we're just have an open circle. And then greater than 3 means we shade to the right, because those are the numbers greater than 3. Okay, and then number 10 we will do together in class. So you're done with your notes, and that's all. You can pause the video here. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.